I'm throwing love letters in your baby pool. Your host, Olivia Newton-John Manning. Welcome to Scholastic Hi Q, the show where knowledge rules. We have two fantastic teams with us here today. On the top, we've got Mount Vernon with Rylan, Athanasius, Micah, and Neo. And at the bottom, we've got the Hillsboro Hilltoppers with Hunter, Ian, Owen, and Isaiah. For those of you who don't know the rules, I'll explain them as follows. I have in my hand a series of toss-up questions. I'll ask them to the room. Either team can buzz in for 10 points. A team that gets a toss-up question correct moves on to a bonus question which they can answer for 20 points, or if they get it wrong, the other team can steal for 10 bonus points. There will also be media questions, audio questions, lightning rounds, but we will get to all of those when we get to them. For now, the only thing you need to know is the interruption rule. If I am reading out a question of any type and you interrupt me to give an answer, if you're right, we move on with our day and you get your points. If you are wrong, the other team gets 5 bonus points and the opportunity to answer that question. So, if you interrupt me, just make sure you're right. With all of that hullabaloo out of the way, are we ready to Hi Q? Yeah. Our first toss-up. What city, whose Andrassy Avenue contains the House of Terror, is home to the Széchenyi Chain Bridge on the Danube River and the Hungarian Parliament? Hunter.
Budapest.
Budapest is correct. Your bonus question, Hillsboro. What romantic poet who died at age 25 wrote that a thing of beauty is a joy forever in his 1818 poem Endymion?
No answer.
All right, Mount Vernon, your chance to steal.
Frost.
Frost is incorrect. We were looking for Keats, John Keats. No bonus question, no bonus points there. On to the next toss-up. What author of The Theory of Moral Sentiments discussed the division of labor of a pin factory in his foundational book, The Wealth of Nations? Both teams are out of time. We were looking for Adam Smith. Smith. No bonus question. This next toss-up is a math question, so pencil and paper ready all around. How many students can be accommodated in a classroom with 6 square tables if each side of the table can fit 2 students? Rylan.
48.
48 is correct. Your bonus question, Mount Vernon. In April 2025, Susan Crawford defeated Brad Schimmel to maintain the liberal majority on what Midwestern state's Supreme Court?
Iowa.
Iowa is incorrect. Hillsboro, your chance to steal.
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin is correct. That is 10 points to Hillsboro for the steal. What retired National Guard Sergeant Major responded to George Floyd's murder as governor of Minnesota and was Kamala Harris's running mate? Both teams are out of time. We were looking for Tim Waltz. Waltz. No bonus question there. What hero who defeated bandits guarding 6 entrances to the underworld used a ball of thread to navigate the labyrinth and slay the Minotaur? Neo.
Theseus.
Theseus is correct. Your bonus question, Mount Vernon. What politician who secured a civil rights plank in the 1948 Democratic platform was Lyndon Johnson's vice president and lost the election of 1968?
John.
John is incorrect. Hillsboro, your chance to steal.
Joe.
Joe is incorrect. Sorry for whatever you were going to say, Humphrey. Not on Hunter. The answer is Humphrey. Hubert Humphrey. Now that I'm done having a stroke, on to our first media question. If you could all please say hello to the television.
Hello.
Thank you. She's shy. This character is one of the main cast in a well-known show called Adventure Time. Micah.
Marceline.
Marceline is correct. That is 10 points to Mount Vernon for answering the media question correctly. There are no bonus media questions, it's just whatever shows up on the television. Our next toss-up. What irrational number is 1 less than the silver ratio, is approximated by the decimal 1.414, and, Rylan.
The golden ratio?
The golden ratio is incorrect. Hillsboro, I will repeat the question. What irrational number is 1 less than the silver ratio, is approximated by the decimal 1.414, and is the square root of the smallest even number? Ian.
2? No, that's not right.
That's incorrect. We were looking for the square root of 2, or radical 2. So close, but no
Okay.
cigar. No bonus question there. On to our next toss-up. What country, whose ruling Al-Thani dynasty has funded its news network Al Jazeera, is a nation on the Persian Gulf that is governed from Doha? Owen.
Qatar.
Qatar is correct. Your bonus question, Hillsboro. Claude Monet made many late-in-life paintings of what aquatic flowers in his garden at Giverny?
Lilies.
I need you to be a bit more specific.
Water lilies.
Water lily is correct. Our next toss-up. What document, which was recovered in 1901 on a diorite stele in Susa, expresses the principle of an eye for an eye and was a law code from Babylon? Rylan.
Hammurabi's Code.
Hammurabi's Code is correct. Your bonus question, Mount Vernon. What Japanese warlord was betrayed and forced to commit suicide in the 1582 Honnoji incident? You are out of time, Mount Vernon. Hillsboro, your chance to steal.
No answer.
All right, we were looking for Oda Nobunaga. Oda Nobunaga. No bonus points there. What instrument, whose virtuosos included Dietrich Buxtehude and Marcel Dupré, is a keyboard instrument that makes sound by pushing air through pipes? Rylan.
Organ.
Organ is correct. Your bonus question, Mount Vernon. The 1888 Convention of Constantinople regulated the use of what waterway, which was completed in 1869 under the direction of Ferdinand de Lesseps?
English Canal.
That is incorrect. Hillsboro, your chance to steal.
The Suez Canal.
The Suez is correct. Our next toss-up. What novel, in which Clarice McClellan disappears, begins, "It was a pleasure to burn"? Rylan.
Fahrenheit 451.
That is correct. Your bonus question, Mount Vernon, is a math question, so pencil and paper ready, and that applies to Hillsboro as well, because I might come back to you to steal. If k must be an integer, what is the smallest possible value of k for which 4k minus 67 is a positive number? Mount Vernon, you are out of time. Hillsboro, your chance to steal.
17.
17 is correct. That's 10 points to Hillsboro for the steal. Our second media question of the game, the television. This supporting character is from the cartoon television show The Owl House, and is a young prodigy witch learning her way around Hexside. But when a human named Luce Noceta enters that field, she's learning to navigate her true feelings and her ambitions to be a better witch. Name this character. Micah.
Anna.
Sorry?
Anna.
That is incorrect. Hillsboro? You're out of time, Hillsboro. We were looking for Amity Blight. That character's name is Amity Blight. Not exactly the target audience for that show. Our next toss-up. What battle in which William Prescott defended the Charlestown Peninsula was won by the British near Boston and was actually fought on Breed's Hill? Rylan.
Battle of Bunker Hill.
Battle of Bunker Hill is correct. Your bonus question, Mount Vernon. What governing document was signed by men like William Bradford and Miles Standish in 1620 before they landed at Plymouth?
Mayflower Contract.
Say that again.
Mayflower contract.
That is incorrect. Hillsboro?
Mayflower
chance to steal.
Compact.
Sorry?
Mayflower Compact.
Mayflower Compact is correct. That is 10 points to Hillsboro for the steal. What element whose oxide is produced in the Bayer process is obtained from bauxite in the Hall-Héroult process and has the atomic symbol Al? Ian?
Aluminum.
Aluminum is correct. Hillsboro, your bonus question. What ancient Greek thinker argued that the plot of a literary work is more important than the characterization in his treatise Poetics?
Socrates.
Socrates is incorrect. Mount Vernon, your chance to steal.
Aristotle.
Aristotle is correct. 10 points to Mount Vernon for the steal. Our next toss-up. What island, whose eastern coast is indented by Scoresby Sound, is governed from Nuuk and is a large island belonging... Owen.
Greenland.
Greenland is correct. Your bonus question, Hillsboro. An alternate name for a unit equal to 10 to the minus 15th meters comes from what Italian scientist who names a class of particles with half-integer spins?
No answer.
All right, Mount Vernon, your chance to steal.
Blanc.
That is incorrect. We were looking for a Fermi. A Fermi. Also called a femtometer, but also called a Fermi. Our next toss-up. What present-day country, the base of the Ayutthaya Kingdom, has long been ruled by the Chukri dynasty from the Grand Palace in Bangkok? Rylan.
Thailand.
Thailand is correct. Your bonus question, Mount Vernon. In a June 2023 game against the A's, Yankees starter Domingo Germán became the 24th player in MLB history to accomplish what feat?
Perfect game.
Perfect game is correct. What French author of the Persian Letters articulated the idea of separation of powers in the spirit of the laws, which inspired the Founding Fathers? You were both out of time. We were looking for Montesquieu. Montesquieu is the name of that author. No bonus question there. On to our next media question. No introductions are necessary for the television at this point in the show. Matthew Robert Patrick is a well-known internet personality known... Rylan.
MatPat.
MatPat is correct. That is 10 points for Mount Vernon for that media question. Once again, no bonus media questions, just whatever shows up on the television. Back to our toss-ups. What organ, whose stratum corneum is composed of dead keratin-rich cells, is the human body's largest and has an outer layer called the epidermis? Micah.
The skin.
The skin is correct. Your bonus question, Mount Vernon. Since 1961, Kings Hassan II and Mohammed VI have led what country which maintains a disputed claim to the territory of Western Sahara?
Nigeria.
Nigeria is incorrect. Hillsboro, your chance to steal.
Morocco.
Morocco is correct. That is 10 points to Hillsboro for the steal, which leads us into the lightning round. The biggest difference about the lightning round is that my paper got about twice as big. I have now 4 topics that separate into 10 questions, which a team may have to answer in a mere 60 seconds. Hillsboro, you get full choice as to what topic you answer from. Your options are as follows: places to see, island fiction, peanuts, and California.
Places to see.
Identify these places whose English language names begin with the letter C. Your 60 seconds, Hillsboro, begins in 3, 2, 1. City home to the Willis Tower and Wrigley Field.
Chicago.
Correct. State home to Yale University.
Connecticut.
Correct. South America's southernmost country.
Chile.
Correct. Country whose cities include Split and Zagreb.
Croatia.
Correct. State capital of Ohio.
Columbus.
Correct. The world's largest inland sea.
Caspian.
Correct. Island country whose capital of Nicosia is divided by the Green Line.
Cyprus.
Correct. Lake on the New York-Vermont border.
Pass.
River that forms part of the Alabama-Georgia border.
Pass.
Mountain range whose tallest peak is Mount Elbrus.
Cascades.
That is incorrect. Lake on the New York-Vermont border.
No answer.
River that forms part of the Alabama-Georgia border. Hillsboro, you are out of time. Lake Champlain is that lake on the New York-Vermont border. Chattahoochee is the river that forms part of the Alabama-Georgia border, and the Caucasus Mountains is the mountain range whose tallest peak is Mount Elbrus. Mount Vernon, your topics once again are as follows: island fiction, peanuts, and California.
California.
Alrighty. If I can get this paper. Name these things from the history of California. Your 60 seconds, Mount Vernon, begins in 3, 2, 1. Event that 49ers joined to pan for medal.
Gold Rush.
Correct. Tectonic disaster that struck San Francisco in 1906.
San Andreas.
Incorrect. Former actor and future president elected governor in 1966.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Incorrect. City near LA that is a metonym for the film industry.
Hollywood.
Correct. Group of people denied public services by 1994's Proposition 187.
Pass.
Motorist whose beating by police led to riots in 1992.
Pass.
Yorba Linda native who resigned as president after Watergate.
Richard Nixon.
Correct. University town where the free speech movement began.
Pass.
Actor elected governor in a 2003 recall election.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Correct. Animal whose flag named an 1846 revolt against Mexico. You are out of time, Mount Vernon. The San Francisco earthquake was that tectonic disaster that struck San Francisco. Ronald Reagan was that former actor elected governor in 1966. Illegal or undocumented immigrants were denied public services by Proposition 187. Rodney King was that motorist whose beating by police led to riots in 1992. And Berkeley was that university town where the free speech movement began. And the Bear flag revolt is that 1846 revolt against Mexico. A wonderful lightning round all around, but unfortunately, it can't last forever, which means that we have to go back to our toss-ups. What event, attended by Frederick Douglass and arranged by Quakers like Lucretia Mott, produced the Declaration of Sentiments endorsing women's rights? You are both out of time. We were looking for the Seneca Falls Convention. Once again, not exactly the demographic for that question. No bonus points there. On to the next toss-up. What tidal object that is created by Basil Hallward gradually becomes repulsive, but keeps its owner magically youthful in a novel by Oscar Wilde? Ryland.
The Picture of Dorian Gray.
Picture of Dorian Gray is correct. Your bonus question, Mount Vernon. What relatively inefficient sorting algorithm repeatedly swaps adjacent elements to order a list? You are out of time, Mount Vernon. Hillsboro, your chance to steal.
No answer.
All right, we were looking for a bubble sorting. What poker hand can be referred to as a boat, ranks directly above a flush in Texas Hold'em, and requires 3 cards of one rank and 2 of another? Micah.
Full House.
Full House is correct. Your bonus question, Mount Vernon. What author, whose novels A World of Strangers and Burger's Daughter were banned during South Africa's apartheid era, wrote July's People?
Pass.
All right, Hillsboro, your chance to steal.
Nelson Mandela.
That is incorrect. We were looking for Nadine Gordimer. Nadine Gordimer. G.N. Lewis proposed what rule that main group atoms tend to form enough bonds with other atoms to have a full shell of 8 valence electrons? Ian.
Octet.
Octet is correct. Your bonus question, Hillsboro. Life on Earth, Planet Earth, and the Blue Planet series are some of the nature documentaries narrated and presented by what British natural historian?
David Attenborough.
David Attenborough is correct. Our next media question. I don't have to introduce the television to you. This American rapper and record producer was born in Germany. Rylan.
J. Cole.
J. Cole is correct. 10 points to Mount Vernon for a correct media question. On to the toss-ups. What author wrote about Reverend Stephen Khumalo traveling to Johannesburg to rescue his son Absalom in his novel Cry the Beloved Country? All right, you were both out of time. We were looking for Peyton, Alan Peyton. No bonus question there. What architect, whose own home was called Taliesin, designed a house along a Pennsylvania stream for the Kaufman family called Falling Water? Owen.
Frank Lloyd Wright.
Frank Lloyd Wright is correct. Your bonus question, Hillsboro. What mathematician proved that the sum of the reciprocals of perfect squares equals pi squared over 6, solving the Basel problem?
No answer.
All right, Mount Vernon, your chance to steal.
Euclid.
Euclid is incorrect. We were looking for Euler. Leonard Euler. This next toss-up is a math question, so pencil and paper ready all around. What is the slope of a line that is perpendicular to the line defined by the equation y equals 7x plus 2? Micah.
Negative 1/7.
Negative 1/7 is correct. Your bonus question, Mount Vernon. Arthur Conan Doyle's story, The Final Problem, describes a confrontation at Reichenbach Falls in which Sherlock Holmes fights what nemesis of his? You were out of time, Mount Vernon. Hillsboro, your chance to steal.
No answer.
All right, we were looking for Moriarty, James Moriarty. Our next toss-up. What man received the humble petition and advice, led the New York Model Army during the English Civil War, and in 1653 became Lord Protector of England? Athanasius.
Shakespeare.
That is incorrect. Hillsboro, chance to buzz in. All right, we were looking for Cromwell, Oliver Cromwell. No bonus question there. What concept, which names the band that included Something in the Way on their album Nevermind?
Nirvana.
Isaiah. Nirvana is correct. Your bonus question, Hillsboro. John Pershing launched the Punitive Expedition in response to what Mexican revolutionaries' raid on Columbus, New Mexico?
The Alamo.
The Alamo is incorrect. Mount Vernon, your chance to steal.
No answer.
All right, we were looking for Pancho Villa. Pancho Villa, a little bit harder than Nirvana to grab off the top of your head. Our next toss-up. What process whose induced form is caused by absorption of a neutron occurs at each stage of a chain reaction and is the splitting of a nucleus? Ian.
Fission.
Fission is correct. Your bonus question, Hillsboro. What American chemist won Nobel Prizes in both chemistry and peace and names an electronegativity scale on which fluorine has a value of 4.0? Hillsboro, you are out of time. Mount Vernon, your chance to steal.
Bohr.
Sorry?
Bohr.
That is incorrect. We were looking for Pauling, Linus Pauling. No bonus points there, which means that we have come to the end of our episode as foretold by the ding dong. That was a very close game all throughout, but our winners are the Hillsboro Hilltoppers. Congratulations to all team members of Hillsboro and everybody at Mount Vernon for coming out for this fantastic game. I, once again, am Olivia Manning, reminding you that here at Hi Q, knowledge rules. Let the music play.